What if Pomni had never existed? This seems like an easy question for any fan of the amazing Digital Circus, but it's not that simple. As the latest addition to the amazing Digital Circus, viewers join in on the fun right around the time Pomni puts on the VR headset and appears in the circus. Being new to the whole situation, Pomni tries to take off the headset to leave the digital hellscape, but that doesn't do any good. If you're looking for a simple answer to the question, what if Pomni never existed? The answer would be Jax wouldn't have anyone to torment. Our resident jackrabbit not having anyone to hear his sarcastic jokes isn't the worst thing in the world, but several other things would be different if Pomni never put on the VR headset. For instance, there's a huge possibility that Kaufmo might have never abstracted. Before you ask how we know this, we have to take you back to the opening theme song for the amazing Digital Circus. Notice anything funny about Kaufmo? The geniuses at Glitch decided it was a good idea to have a cardboard cutout of Kaufmo the Clown instead of having him make an appearance. You can say they did that for comedic reasons, or it was just to foreshadow the fact that Kaufmo had abstracted. We can even go out on a limb and say the team at Glitch Production didn't want to spend a lot of time animating Kaufmo, so they decided to use a cutout instead, and it's all thanks to Pomni. Another thing that could have happened if Pomni never existed was no one would even know Kaufmo had abstract. In the opening theme for the show, we can see most of the circus performers helping Kane perform the song. They don't seem to notice Kaufmo has been replaced by a cardboard cutout until much later in the show. This means Kaufmo had been absent for some time, but they weren't bothered enough to go check up on the clown until Pomni showed up. Ragatha only decided to take Pomni to Kaufmo's room on a whim to try to calm her down. And even though it failed spectacularly, at least we got to know that Jax had a key to Kaufmo's room. This brings us to the next thing that could have happened if Pomni never showed her confused face in the amazing Digital Circus. We strongly believe Jax would have abstracted next if Pomni didn't come along. And before you strangle us, we can back this claim up. Remember the key to Kaufmo's room, which Jax happened to have when Ragatha thought of going to check up on him? Being the troublemaker, Jax somehow had access to everyone's room as confirmed when he talked about going into Ragatha's room and leaving a centipede in her room. And just so we are clear, only an evil villain like Jax would think about leaving Ragatha's worst fear in her room. With a key to everyone's room, Jax would have gone to check up on Kaufmo alone, and it doesn't take a genius to figure out what would happen to Jax after stepping into the room. Once Kaufmo is done with Jax, he would move on to other characters in the circus. If Kane wasn't around to take care of the abstracted Kaufmo on time, he could go on a complete rampage through the circus, abstracting everything in sight. We definitely don't want that, because it would mean the show would end before it even began. So, despite what Jax fans may think, they owe Pomni a lot, but we know they will never admit that. Whatever their reasons, we believe if Pomni didn't make her grand entrance into the show, Jax might be an abstracted monster and Kaufmo might still be around. We never got to meet the unfunny clown before he went unstable, but that's not even the worst thing about Pomni's appearance in the amazing Digital Circus. By far, the most significant thing about Pomni's appearance is the destruction of Gangle's happy mask. We know that's not what you were expecting to hear, but have you ever wondered what could have been if she didn't appear while the opening theme was still being played? Well, we have, and it would have given us the opportunity to see Gangle in a new light. The first thing the red and black jester does when she materializes in the circus is trip and bump into Kinger, who backs up into the other characters until they knock Gangle's mask off. Due to that clumsy incident, we never got to see Gangle happy. Instead, we were left with the overly emotional and depressed Gangle. From a teaser posted on Glitch's Twitter page, we can see that Gangle's mask breaks a lot, and we can guess she doesn't get to enjoy her time with the happy mask for long. In an alternate reality out there, Pomni never puts on the headset, and in turn Gangle never loses her comedy mask, but enough indulging in our Gangle worship. We have to talk about the character who has been all over Pomni ever since she came to the circus. If you guessed Kane, then you're right on the money, because the Ringmaster has been all over her since she appeared in the amazing Digital Circus. The only thing keeping Pomni sane is the fact that there are people out there subscribing to our channel. So if you care about the red and black jester, you should hit that subscribe button now. One may even say he somehow made her wear the headset so he could torment her till she goes unstable. But that's a story for another video. Right now, we have to talk about the one-sided relationship between Kane and Pomni, and what would have happened if she never existed. The obvious answer would be that Kane would have to pick another character to torment, seeing how he loves to drag Pomni all over the place. Seeing how Ragatha was the most kind to Pomni, we believe she had to suffer being taken around the circus as Kane's new toy. With Pomni in the picture, Ragatha doesn't have to worry about Kane's shenanigans for a while. This brings us to our next theory, on what would have happened if Pomni never put on the headset. Despite being the voice of reason, to Pomni's confusion about being trapped in the amazing digital circus, she isn't the most stable character in the show. Compared to characters like Zubul and Jax, Ragatha is closer to abstraction than most people would like to admit. If that clip isn't enough to persuade you that Ragatha isn't as stable as she would like others to believe, a look at the teased image from Gooseworx' Twitter account showing her losing her mind in the next episode should do the trick. In the image, we can see Ragatha clutching her hair as she screams at something happening. From the pink background, we can tell the image was taken somewhere in the Candy Canyon, probably at the start of Kane's new adventure. We don't know what made her so mad, but seeing that she has Jax and Kinger around it might not be so bad. And even though Jax has an ominous smile going on in the picture, we don't want to blame him for Ragatha's predicament, but it's something we won't get past him. If you're one of those Ragatha lovers who doesn't believe the rag doll is close to abstracting, you can watch our video where we covered who might abstract next, and it's something you might want to watch before the next episode comes out. Moving on, the image from Candy Canyon is proof that Ragatha was close to being unstable. Without Pomni around, there was not much stopping her from abstracting without Kane's adventures. Another thing that wouldn't be a thing if Pomni never existed was the discovery of the exit door. Once Pomni comes into the picture, she spots the exit and tries to go for it but disappears before she can do anything about it. Despite seeing the door a few minutes ago, the other characters don't seem to believe that the door exists, and they even try to gaslight her into believing it doesn't exist. It doesn't take long before Pomni discovers the exit door again and tries to take it until she ends up in the void. Without Pomni to prove that the exit door exists, we might have been forced to believe she was losing her mind. Before Pomni came into the picture, no one was willing to listen to Kaufmo when he rambled about the existence of the exit door. Having everyone around you tell you that you're seeing things is one of the easiest ways to drive someone insane, and we wonder if that contributed to Kaufmo going unstable. Assuming Pomni came a week or a few days earlier and had the chance to talk to Kaufmo about the exit door, there is a chance he might not have abstracted. Having someone believe him might have given him the hope he needed to stay sane, and we might have seen the clown interacting with the other characters. We've heard a few things about Kaufmo's unfunny jokes, but sadly, we didn't get the chance to see the clown go mad after no one refused to laugh at his jokes. Even though Pomni didn't make it in time to tell Kaufmo that he wasn't alone, she did make it in time to confirm that a magical exit door was floating around somewhere in the amazing digital circus, an object that important shouldn't go unnoticed, since it's a secret Kane doesn't want us to know about yet. For now, everything about the void is shrouded in secrecy, but as the series unfolds, we might find out more about what happened with the abandoned project. After waiting so long for the second episode of the amazing Digital Circus, we can't help but notice the urge to abstract. If you're anything like us, you might want to watch our next video. And if you are really afraid of joining Kaufmo in the cellar, you should do yourself a favor and subscribe to the channel. It's what Jax would do.